In the sun-baked labyrinth of Dubai's old souk, where spices whispered secrets to the wind and silks shimmered like captured sunsets, the Al Mansur family plotted their jest with the cruelty of desert mirages. Zahra Al Mansur, the eldest daughter of a petty merchant, had always been the shadow in the gilded tale, her features plain as sun-bleached sand, her skin etched with the faint scars of childhood pox, her laughter too loud for the delicate veils of high society. At 23, she was the ugly one, the punchline at feasts, the reason suitors turned their camels toward prettier pastures. Her sisters, Layla and Nur, with their almond eyes and raven tresses, preened like peacocks, while Zahra mended hems and dreamed in the quiet corners of their courtyard home. The Sheikh's emissary had arrived like a sandstorm. Khalid ibn Rashid, ruler of the Whispering Dunes, seeking a bride from the merchant class to seal a trade alliance. Whispers of his heart's longing rippled through the markets, a woman of grace and wisdom, not mere ornament, to stand beside him in the vast halls of his palace, where oil lamps flickered like stars in the night sky. The family schemed over rosewater and pistachios. Send Zahra, Layla giggled, her bangles chiming malice. The great Sheikh will laugh, reject her outright, and our shame will be his folly. Then, perhaps, he'll look to us. Noor nodded, her henna'd hands clapping in delight. Their father, eyes gleaming with opportunistic fire, agreed. A joke to humble the mighty. Dress her in rags beneath the finest abaya. Let her stutter her greetings. Zahra overheard from the alcove, her heart a fragile reed bending in the gale. She could have fled to the date palms, but pride, that fierce Bedouin inheritance, rooted her. If I must be the fool, she murmured to the moon that night, let it be on my terms. She wove wild jasmine into her braid, a scent of untamed freedom, and etched a poem on her palm. In shadows, light is born. The journey to the palace was a blur of camel bells and mirage heat, the emissary's guards mistaking her silence for submission. As the golden domes of Rashid's fortress pierced the horizon, Zahra's pulse thrummed like a oud string plucked in sorrow. The grand hall awaited, a cavern of marble and mosaic, where fountains sang of ancient oases and courtiers in kaftans bowed like willows. Sheikh Khalid sat upon his divan, a man of 35 whose presence commanded the sands themselves. Tall and bronzed, with eyes like polished obsidian and a beard trimmed to the precision of a falcon's wing, he was no mere prince but a poet king, his libraries stuffed with scrolls from Baghdad to Cordoba. Widowed young by fever's cruel hand, he'd vowed to wed not beauty's shell, but a soul that mirrored the desert's depth, resilient, profound, blooming in adversity. The doors parted like silk curtains, and Zahra entered, her abaya pooling at her feet like spilled midnight. Gasps rippled through the assembly as she unveiled, no porcelain doll, but a woman whose face held the honest lines of laughter and labor, her dark eyes deep wells of untold stories. Layla's envoy, hidden among the shadows, smirked in anticipation of rejection. Zahra knelt, her voice steady as the Nile's flow. Great Sheikh, I am Zahra, daughter of the sands, bearer of no dowry but the wisdom of stars and the strength of thorns. Khalid leaned forward, his gaze not appraising flesh but seeking the spark within. Rise, daughter of the sands, he commanded, his tone a rumble of thunder wrapped in velvet. Tell me, what dream have you carried across these dunes? The court held its breath, expecting farce. But Zahra spoke, not of silks or servitude, but of the poetry she'd scratched on olive bark under her sister's scorn, verses of falcons unchained, of rivers carving canyons from stone. Her words wove tapestries in the air, tales of a girl who tamed wild horses with kindness, who healed the sick with herbs gathered at dawn, who saw beauty in the crooked palm that outlasted tempests. The Sheikh's eyes, those obsidian depths, ignited. In her unadorned honesty, he glimpsed the phantom of his lost Aisha, not the flawless vision of law, but the companion who'd debated philosophy by firelight, who'd laughed at his follies and mended his wounds with stories spun from nothing. Zahra was no fragile bloom. She was the desert rose, thorns guarding petals that bloomed blood red after rain. As she spoke, the hall transformed, the courtiers' sneers melting into murmurs of awe, the fountain's song harmonizing with her cadence. That night, under a canopy of embroidered stars in the palace gardens, Khalid sought her out. Jasmine heavy in the air, mirroring her hidden braid, he offered not a ring of gold but a volume of Rumi, its pages yellowed with longing. They sent you as jest, he confessed, his voice a desert wind confessing to the dunes, but you are the verse I have recited in silence these 7 years. Everything I dreamed, fierce, unyielding, a heart that sees beyond veils. Zara's fingers traced the book's spine, tears like dew on her lashes. And you, Sheikh, do you see the woman, or the jest they mocked? He cupped her face, gentle as prayer, his thumb brushing a scar like a constellation. I see the dawn you carry within, the one that scatters shadows. Word of the union spread like wildfire across the Emirates, a tale not of pity, but of providence. Layla and Nur, summoned to the wedding veiled in their own shame, watched as Zara ascended the dais in robes of saffron and pearl, her sister's gifts now crowns of redemption. The merchant father bowed low, his plot unraveled into blessing, but it was in the quiet chambers, away from revelry's roar, that true power bloomed. Khalid and Zara ruled not with iron scepters, but with open scrolls. She transformed his libraries into beacons, teaching orphaned girls to read the stars and scribe their truths. He, in turn, knelt with her in the herb gardens, learning the language of leaves that healed deeper than physicians' blades. Their love was no fairy tale gloss, it weathered sandstorms of politics and whispers of doubt. When assassins' shadows crept in the moonless hour, rivals envious of his softened rule, Zara's falcon cry rallied the guards, her thorns drawing first blood. Years wove onward, threading children into their tapestry, a son with her resilient gaze, a daughter whose laughter echoed her mother's unbowed spirit. On the anniversary of that fateful unveiling, Khalid gifted her a mirror framed in desert gold. Look, he urged, and see what the world overlooked. Zara gazed, not at the lines time etched, but at the fire that had always burned. I see us, she whispered, the dream made flesh. In the heart of the dunes, where jokes dissolve into destiny, one truth endures, beauty is no mask to wear, but a light to kindle. And in Zara's radiance, Khalid found not just a bride, but the oasis of his soul, eternal, unyielding, alive. Thank you for watching this story till the end. Sparkles, if it touched your heart, please support us. Thumbs up, give it a like. Speech balloon, share your thoughts in the comments. Bell, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us create more stories that inspire and make you believe in miracles. Your participation means a lot to us. Heart.